I'm not a climate scientist myself, but I have looked at the literature, and it seems that those who are expert in the field, including some of my colleagues at Princeton University, do agree that climate change is already happening, that sea levels are already rising, and that we will see more and more changes over the next, let's say, 30 to 50 years, and in the longer run over the next century. So yes, I think these things are already happening. And one of the interesting and frightening things is that if you look at the predictions that scientists were making 20 years ago, people who were skeptical about climate change were saying, oh no, this is not scientifically based. But those predictions have come true. And in fact, generally speaking, the pace of climate change has been faster than the predictions that were made 20 years ago. So it looks as if they were right, as if their predictions have been justified, and therefore there is a lot of reason to be really very worried about this. When you continue to create energy through burning coal, or when you continue to have a lot of cattle, you are imposing costs on others. And the great tragedy of climate change is that the countries that are doing the most to contribute to it are still the richest nations, the United States, Canada, Australia, Western Europe to some extent. But the people who are suffering most from it are some of the poorest people, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa, for instance, and in parts of India, where they rely on rainfall to grow their food, and rainfall patterns will change as a result of climate change. They're already changing. And some people also, for example, in Bangladesh, are farming land in the river deltas, which is very fertile, but very low-lying, and as the sea levels rise, that land will be inundated by seawater and will become useless. So, I mean, the United Nations is predicting that hundreds of millions of people will become refugees because of climate change. And that's why it's an ethical issue. I mean, can we justify continuing to have cheap energy and a strong economy if we know that we are causing hundreds of millions of people to have to become refugees? That's a terrible cost.